looking in the mirror like $1,000,000. Met her at the club, that ass is double star. She pulled her to the side, now I'm in the guts. I ain't in it for the love, I just want a nut. Yeah. Said she's spinning every song, she loved every track. So I hit it from the back, hit it from the back. Yeah, I'm getting to the bag, getting to the bag. Putting half in the bank, half to the fam. And ain't no one to think I'm independent, man. See them stretching out the hands like a rubber band. Get straight from the source, fuck a middleman. I'll be putting in the work to elevate the brand. It's Laddie Stone grown to the death of me. LSG, bitch, reppin' on the T. I've been running this shit since 1993, even since a kid.
I'm not prepared. I'm not even wearing a bra.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Last Samurai podcast, the only podcast on the internet sponsored by Yo Mama, where no bras are needed.
Genius.
We're gonna turn this bitch into the whole radio vibe.
Adrenaline, RFC.
Oh shit! How you like that, bro? Bring you back a little bit?
Yep.
Dude, that was like one of my favorite songs you made. I swear to God.
She didn't even notice.
Of course she
had
did.
no idea.
You never
that
showed your
you?
shit?
Yeah.
He doesn't share.
Nah, not yet.
Straight fire.
I don't
love
share
that
either,
shit.
so it's cool.
No, what was the? I know the chorus. It goes, would you assume? Wait, fuck. Something about assuming in your thoughts and your dreams that everything you see is what it seems. Or something.
You could assume everything that you've seen is an illusion from the thoughts
that you had in your dreams. Oh, dude, I heard that shit way back the day, and I was like, what did I just hear? Goddamn, what's good, bro? Anyways, let me introduce you guys. What's going on, guys? I'm Roman Nicholas. I'll be your host for this evening. Sitting across from me today is Jorge Muruaga.
He rolled it, too. That's perfect. That's good stuff.
Dude, he was like, I'm probably going to have to say it myself. No, motherfucker, I got this shit. No, I'm just playing. And sitting next to him is the lovely and beautiful Krys Perez.
See?
A little bit easier.
Yes.
A little bit easier. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing today?
Pretty
Doing
You
good.
guys doing good? You guys had a pretty good lunch?
Yes.
What'd you guys eat?
Had
Wings.
Hooters today.
Hooters.
Yeah.
Jorge's
go there.
choice.
Jorge's choice. Of course it was Jorge's choice.
Yeah.
I only go there for two reasons. And has nothing to do with their boobies. It's because they sell. I mean, it's because they show the fights every single time. I love their fights and their wings. But, you know, the boobies help. They definitely do.
It's that one sauce that gets me, the spicy garlic. That's why I like going. I told her, too.
Bro, you know what's crazy? Speaking of spicy garlic, when I was working at Pluckers. Oh, shout out Pluckers, by the way. OG's over here. My man. This was actually my trainer over at Pluckers.
Oh, yeah.
For a time. There was a time when we didn't have spicy garlic at Pluckers. You remember that?
Yeah.
And people were asking it, and I told them, I was like, it's called the Ro Special. And they're like, what? I was like, because my name is Roman, and I only do it for my guests. Nobody else does it. And they're like, oh, you're the only one who does it? I was like, yeah, so, you know, you're lucky if you got me. Dude, people would straight up ask for me just because they thought I was the only one who does that shit. I was like,
good.
Yes. They got these bitches on lock. But, yeah, welcome, guys. Thank you guys for making the trip out here. I bumped into Jorge not too long ago over at the club.
Yep.
And this is how this was conceived.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was talking to me about you, Miss Krys, about how you guys were talking about energy and stuff like that. So what about energy you guys speaking about?
Kick it off.
All right. Well, we were thinking of kind of relating it back to the service industry, right? The life we live and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think the first thing that we ever started talking about
Pull
was
that mic
just
up to you real quick.
was just human interaction, right?
Yeah.
And so just the energy output that you have with other people and working in the service industry, you have a lot of it. So you have a lot to learn too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Day after day.
I think energy is such a underappreciated, underattended.
When you're talking about energy, you mean like the aura that one gives out when they're kind of like around others? Is that what you're talking about?
I think it's everything. It really just touches on what's going on in your mind is what's going to be put out. That's what you receive and how you react to it. Also gives off energy. It's just...
You know, we were talking about something similar like this yesterday. It was called, oh, excuse me. Fuck, this is water or beer? What the fuck is this shit? Hold on. What the fuck?
It might be vodka.
God damn, that shit ruined me. Anyways, we were speaking about, you said, visual, or thinking about what you're thinking about will go into the universe, and it's a lot of that. It's similar to visualization. You know, when you think about yourself succeeding, when you think about yourself moving forward in life, I mean, yes, the action is very important, but the fact that it's in your brain is that it's there plays a huge part.
That is what they call the law of attraction.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, correct.
There's I just heard this on a podcast literally 2 days ago. This guy has a book out. I need to look it up. Anyways, he's a shooter. I guess he like does professional shooting, and he said like 50% of his training is just thinking about it. It's just thinking about, okay, I'm gonna aim the gun here. The target's right there, and my bullet's going to hit right in the middle. And that's like 50% of his training. So what do you guys feel about that? How like visualizing is really 50% of everything we do?
I mean, if you think about it, everything starts off as a thought. Mm-hmm. The very first thing, whether it's a dream, whether it's a thought, it's an idea. Yeah. It all starts from here.
Right.
And it's kind of like, what are you going to do from here? I think majority of people don't think beyond that. Or they think it's just something that's going to manifest itself. But I think that's where energy goes into play. What do you want to do with that thought? What do you want to do with that idea? What do you want to do with that dream? Could
you give me some examples, like maybe some things that you guys thought about or that you have like brought into fruition within your own lives? Or
I think just even starting to work in the service industry, like when I started that, I didn't have much, you know what I mean? I just got back from college, trying to make a living and all that, and from there till now, just being even financially stable now, it's crazy to me. And that's all because, see, I don't think it's so much of people don't think about it. I don't think they're aware of what you start thinking about. Those are the thoughts you're gonna have. You know, I don't think you have so much control of like, this is what I'm going to think. I think it's more of like whatever mindset I'm in, those are the type of things that are going to come across your brain, right?
Yeah.
So it's more of, I mean, I guess in an oral sense, but even more so in just being deliberate with everything that you do, right? And I see your Bruce Lee thing right back there, and that's what he used to talk about. Right. He would say the saying, right, be like water and become malleable and stuff like that. But it was always with a purpose. It's always doing it for a reason. And if you remind yourself your reason, and people that work out, you have your why and all that stuff, that's what it is it's just being conscious of what you're doing.
And see, a lot of people these days, they get stuck in a rut, they get stuck in like a routine to where they're not even thinking no more. They're literally just living it out day by day. Have you whenever I got hired onto this job, this safety guy told me, there's going to be a time in your life, or there's going to be a time of you working here where you're going to wake up from your alarm clock and you're going to blink and you're going to be at work. And you're going to wonder, how the fuck did I get here? You weren't even focusing on the road because it's all muscle memory. You know what I mean? And that's true, because I've done that. I fucking go to work and I'm like, shit, I'm already here. I'm not even thinking no more. Like, I'm not even conscious as to what's going on in my own head. You know what I'm saying?
So conscious, right? That's another thing. Making the conscious effort to better yourself, having your goals be ever changing as they should be, because you should always be constantly evolving to become the best version of yourself. And I think that's something it's constant work. It's constant self-discipline. It shows a lot of patience, because I think that now we live in a world where if something isn't given to you instantaneously, people don't want it.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous, but it's so true. Ridiculous, but so true. I mean, shit, speaking about exactly what you just said right there, in the service industry, as soon as they ask for ranch, they want that ranch right then and there. Yeah. They're not waiting for shit. And if you walk by without it, they're like, what the fuck? I just told you.
Well, I mean, even training people, and I don't know if I ever said this to you because I train so many people, but one of the biggest things I tell them is, once you take that order and you start walking to the computer, you haven't put it in those people's minds, that food is down. It's cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's cooking as soon as it left their mouth, pretty much.
No, you never told me that. I'm just a small fish in a big ocean to you. I was just a little baby, but that's definitely. I mean, I know that whenever the wife and I go out there, I'm so different now as to what I used to be before I was a server. Before I was a server, I was like, dude, this is taking way too fucking long. What the fuck is? And it's like 5 minutes after she just left, right? 5 minutes after, and now I'm a whole lot more patient. Kind of a lot more understanding, because there's times whenever I'll go in there and I would just be like, hey, 10 minutes later, I totally forgot to put your shit in. I'm sorry. They're going to start cooking right now, I promise. But, everybody should become the best version of themselves, but a lot. I feel like the majority of the people are not really, they don't have that mindset. They don't really have that, not intuition, but that willpower. And speaking of willpower, you're a physical fitness type of person. I see you hitting the gym.
I am. Today's
like
actually
that.
the 1 year anniversary since I started lifting.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So a year ago today, I
You can
decided,
get my boy in the gym over here or what?
You know,
We were just talking about that too.
Dude, get in there.
I'm about to hop on 2 soccer teams coming up here, so I got to start running too. So
Oh,
I might join you for a couple miles here and there. You
Dude,
never
fucking
know.
run with me. I got a marathon coming up on Sunday.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge dick up the ass, but I'm going to love it. I'm going to love every fucking minute of it. I've been
That's
scared.
what she said.
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically, yeah. I'm definitely getting fucked that day. But yeah, there is, for me personally, I don't, you guys tell me what you guys think about this, but for me personally, I go through waves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'll be so fucking motivated and I'll be irritated at other people if they're not doing their best. And then there's going to be points in my life where I'm literally on the couch, binge watching every show on Netflix, eating all the sugar I can get. And I'm like, and that makes me depressed, but that makes me sad. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself when I know that I have so much more in me? Do you guys ever go through that yourselves? Do you guys ever go through that up and down?
Well, I was going to touch on that when you were talking about we were talking about the conscious thought, and you were saying it's all just a routine.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same routine for people who excel in things like that.
Right.
It's just that the routine from a year ago is different. You know, she's lifting a lot more, doing all that. Same with people. I mean, one of the biggest sayings that I'm doing accounting in school still. And one of the biggest sayings in it is, if you can't manage the little bit of money that you have right now, what makes you think you're going to manage millions later?
Oh,
like, it's
for
easy to
sure.
think that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, if I had millions, I could do it. But you're not doing it now. And so it's the same thing. Like, you go into waves, but you got to try to catch that right wave and then just keep it in the middle the whole time.
Right.
You know, and I think it's with the changing goals. I think it's with what she said. You get to a point, all right, let me shoot for this now.
You gotta elevate.
Right?
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Which is how it should be. I think it's a very humbling experience to have a goal for yourself and to hold yourself accountable. Like I said, I think self-discipline is something that's going to be talked about a lot today. But
Very
because
much
you're
so.
going to learn about yourself through your own personal journey when it is just you. When you're realizing that this is something I have to do for myself. These muscles aren't going to pack itself on by someone else. You know what I mean? And if I skip the gym for one day, it's going to lead into
Feel
2
like
days.
shit.
And when it comes down to it, I just remind myself, Charlie Bucket said, you don't get a rehearsal in life.
Who's Charlie Bucket?
He is, you know what? He used to be a music producer. He used to be really overweight, and he actually retired. He managed Chameleonaire.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah.
That's
And
cool.
he retired because he was like, I need to do something else with my life. There's a higher purpose for me. So he was like, I want to say he was like 200 to 300 pounds, and he decided, I'm going to do an Ironman, which is, I don't remember how much of a swim it is. It's a marathon.
I think it's a 5K swim with a marathon and a 100-mile bike.
Correct.
Similar.
All
something like
in
that.
one. And he's like, I'm going to do an Ironman.
Dude, and swimming for 3 miles is, I would say, just as hard as a marathon.
Yes,
you're using
if
your
not
whole
harder.
you're using your whole body.
The entire time. And if you don't accomplish that in a certain amount of time, it's incomplete. You're just completely cut off. But he did it.
Wow.
But he did it. And he is such a big believer in quantum physics, in energy.
Quantum
obviously.
physics, like the universe and shit?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
And
I
he
like that. I
he
like
had said
that.
at one point, he had said in 8th grade, and he was chubby as hell, not athletic whatsoever. He was like, but I'm gonna be an athlete.
That's me.
And he retired that dream for a long time up until kind of recently. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna get sponsored by Nike. And lo and behold, Nike had contacted him later on and was like, we want your journey to be kind of like this revamp in our brand.
This dude got sponsored by Nike.
Yes.
This chubby dude, non-athletic dude, got sponsored by
And
Nike.
granted, he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
he put
but
in that work, but
it
yeah.
all started with him, with the idea, like you said, with him thinking about it,
Exactly.
with the visualization.
And
I just pulled this up right here. Hold on 1 second. It's actually 2.1 mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and then a marathon, 26.22. So yeah, a little bit less than a 5K, more like a 3K,
Yes.
3.8K. That's
That's open water though, right?
I mean, shit. Where else can you swim?
Yeah.
Do something? I mean, I guess you could do it in a pool doing laps, but
They've
that's
done laps,
fucking
like the
miserable.
Olympic laps,
Yeah.
but-
That shit is miserable.
right.
I've done that before. I did a mini triathlon back in Saipan, where I'm from. That shit whooped my ass, bro. I'm telling you, I think the bike ride was only like I was 17 at the time, but the bike ride was like 40 or 30 miles. And I swear, I didn't even qualify to get to the run because that bike just fucked me. I was like, dude, there's no way. I literally came in second to last on that bike ride. I probably came in top 15 in the swim, but second to last out of like 400 people on the bike ride.
But still finished.
No, I finished the bike. I didn't finish the run. I didn't qualify. I think it was like the last like 50 people couldn't do the run.
Wow.
Yeah. But then I went to the banquet, and then this group was like, hey, we're doing another one next in a couple weeks from now. You want to jump on a run team with us? So one guy's swimming, so it's a relay rather than it being just you doing everything. And I was like, yes, dude, please let me finish what I started, you know? So I kind of did the triathlon, but within like a 1 month gap.
And see, that's everything, right? And that's something that Charlie Bucket has said that has really stuck with me, is that you put an idea out into the universe and it sends out a vibration. So for him, it was Nike. For me, it was becoming a bartender. Okay. I was a server and I already knew that I wanted to bartend. And I was like, I'm going to be a bartender. I shot that out in the universe. And it was only a matter of time from my thought and that thing to reach each other like a ripple.
You're bartending now?
Yes.
Congratulations. So how long did it take you?
2 months in.
2 months in, you became bartender?
2 months
what
in.
the fuck?
Yes.
Dude, I was serving for 6 months, and I still didn't know what the fuck beers we had at that place. They were like, hey, what beers do we have? What drinks do we have here? I was like, we definitely got Bud Light, so if you want that, you know, we definitely got that for you. Everything else is on the fucking menu right here. Go ahead and read that shit.
So it's living as if it has already happened. You're just waiting for time to catch up.
Right.
That is exactly what my thing was. And that's something that I had told him kind of early on, too. I was like, listen, you're going to train me. And he's like, well, I'm the only one, so you don't really have a choice.
Not really making a big call.
It's like, yeah, big deal, but you're going to train me, motherfucker. You are. Oh, good shit. So you trained her as a server and in the bartending, or?
Did I do your serving?
No.
I don't think I did serving. No, just bartending.
Just bartending?
But, I mean, I work in the mornings now, so she was working mornings all the time. And so that's where we got to talking about stuff. But at the same time, she was always in there interested, you know? Right. And that's a big part of it is, like, you can't just have the thought. A lot of people think, oh, if I visualize myself in that new Camaro, then it's just going to happen. That's not what happens.
It's levels to this shit.
Well, the thing is, though, is you put it in your brain, like she said. Then once it's in there and you just focus on that, right? Every single thing that you do, you're evaluating, is this going to help me get there or is it not? Right? So it's not so much that, I mean, yeah, it's the law of attraction getting you closer. I guess it's just moving everything that you don't need out of the way so that those two things can meet, like she said.
Oh, for sure.
And so once, you know, Charlie Bucket had it in his head, I'm going to get sponsored by Nike, right? You say it enough times, it's going to catch buzz. You do what you did, like lose a bunch of weight. They're looking at you like, oh, it's not because you lost the weight. It's that energy. It's that we want people drawn to that. We want people to think that they can do it too. You know what I mean?
Right. That's a big.
You know what I just realized? Charlie Bucket is the guy from Willy Wonka.
That's why I was like, who the fuck is this guy, dude? You know
it's Charlie Rocket.
We'll call him Charlie Bucket from now on.
Oh my god. Oh no, I need to pull this shit up now. I want to see who this motherfucker is.
I'm still gonna call him that the whole time. I'm not
Charlie Bucket.
Charlie Rocket.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I was like,
dude, if Chameleonaire
like...
watches this shit, he's gonna be like, that wasn't my fucking manager.
You know what? It wasn't even Chameleonaire. It was 2 Chainz.
Damn.
Oh, dude, so this is the guy who fucking got sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, right here. See, he used to be a large black man, and now look at him.
Now he's a small white boy. He actually went backwards in
child.
age. Oh shit!
That Benjamin Button disease.
It is Charlie Rocket.
Charlie motherfucking Rocket.
Yes.
I want to see what he looks like now. Like, I want to verify
I got you, bro.
That this is who we're talking about.
I got you, bro. No worries.
Charlie. I was wondering why she was laughing. Did I say something wrong? I said something wrong, didn't
Charlie Rocket.
Well, you did.
Unbeknownst to me.
I started it.
Yeah. You let us
okay, is this what is more familiar?
Yes, that is.
Is
him.
it this guy?
It could be.
So he's. Oh, I mean, he got a bike.
That's him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at him right here, Charlie fucking Rocket.
Oh wow.
I am so running with my shirt off now. If he can do it, I can do it.
Only if you write self-love though.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Then it'll be okay.
I might just write Last Samurai Podcast on my body and just market myself throughout the whole fucking thing.
Bump some Lizzo. You'll be all right.
Dude, that shit is bouncing itself. Fuck yeah. So speaking about energy, do you guys ever feel as if the people that come in and people that you serve there, you kind of catch their wave, you kind of catch their vibe, and does it ever kind of like influence you? Does it affect you, or what do you do to make it not?
So crazy, because you have been really feeling energy sensitive lately.
For some reason. So I think a few years ago, and I say a few because I'm old now, but probably when I was around like 18 or 19.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Because if you're old, that means I'm old. So don't you dare say that shit.
All right, we're in the middle of our life. You remember being a kid? Like right now, we would think we were so old. It's crazy.
I do remember being a kid.
But at some point I realized like I could sense people's energy, and it's not one of those things where like you walk in, close your eyes and do it and you feel it, right?
California shit.
Yeah, nah, it's more of like I'm just sitting there, all of a sudden I catch a wave of anger or just sadness or any people that are close to me usually. Yeah. It actually lets me feel it, and it's weird.
What's the energy of the room? What do you feel in here?
Nah, just chill. Nothing too crazy.
Okay. I like that.
It's to the point where we drove past the cemetery the other day by my cousin's house where we're going to get married. The beginning strip, I immediately was like, I don't like that. Just like that first very little part. And it was even like, I don't know if it was actually that way, but I told Megan, I was like, I see it as really gloomy and just dark, but the sun's out over here on this other part. Like
I mean, it's a fucking cemetery though.
But the rest of the cemetery was fine. Like we drove past, it was like a good mile long.
Oh, okay, got you. I feel you.
And so I think with people at work, it's more of people that I work with, people that I'm close to. Like if she was having a bad day, it would I'd feel it. But when it comes to people that we serve, I think if you're good at this job, you learned a while back not to let them affect you. Yeah. Because usually they're coming in with their own problems, and it's a way to let off steam too, you know what I mean? Some random person you're not going to see anymore. Yeah, exactly. And so they'll say stuff to you, but you got to just take it in stride and kind of just try to kill them with kindness. Don't let them affect your night.
You got to, bro.
I'm going to stay at work. They're going home, so I'm going to be the pissed off one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's also a lot of opportunity as a service industry worker to kind of turn their energy around.
Oh my God, say no more. That's a fact, man.
That I carry with me heavily. Yeah. Because whether I know it or not, whether there's some kind of disruption in someone else's life, I know that I feel like it's my responsibility to kind of give them, if not a good day, a good 45 minutes.
Right, the time being there.
And sometimes that's all a person needs. Sometimes a person just needs a little bit of light in order to keep it lit.
They need to see that little glimpse at the end of the tunnel. Exactly. And they'll catch that shit and they'll run to it.
Exactly.
I remember I did that so many times being over at Pluckers. I would see people in there and just, they'll just have like the not nicest face on them. They'll be talking to each other kind of like in the not nicest way, a little bit of rude here and there. And I kept it consistent. I always had the same thing. I would like slide in. I would be like, what's going on, boys and girls? My name is Roman. I'll be serving you guys today. Can I get you guys started with some lemonade, strawberry, regular? What can I do for you? With some like high energy, good vibe type shit. And you get them smiling, getting feeling good. And whenever they're feeling good, they make you feel good. It really works. It bounces off of each other. It's like a basketball court. You're kind of bouncing off each other, and that's
very
where the
ebb and
tips
flow.
come in. Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Especially, I think people who have had kids too.
Mm-hmm. Have you had kids? You have to think about
Not that
this.
I know of.
I think you'd be more likely to know than me. I should be saying that. Maybe somewhere. I don't know.
Did I go on a petri dish for a second? I don't know. Oh my God, that was way too long of a pause right there.
I'm like, dang. But people who have children, especially, I mean, that's literally their life. Not all children are thrilled to be sitting in a restaurant in one place for an extended amount of time. But you kind of pick up on those cues, right? You kind of see, like, oh, that kid really likes those cherries. Bring a little 4-ounce cup of cherries. Right. Something as small as that, or just making that kid feel special. Like, do you want that mac and cheese? Do you want that French fries? Hey, Mom, can you have another cup of lemonade?
Yeah, you're like the parent's teammate.
Makes them soar. Just like, oh my gosh, yes. Thank you for acknowledging my child. Thank you for not judging me for bringing my child in where there's chicken wings all over the floor.
Oh, no, I was definitely that kid. I was a brat growing up. My mom used to tell me, she would be like, Roman, why does the house always feel so negative when you're in it? And I'm like,
She straight said that to you?
That's some mean ass shit, Mom.
Damn.
Maybe because I like death fucking metal and I don't fucking want to be here. I don't know, dude. It was so weird because, you know, I was raised, yeah, she straight up said that shit to me. Dead ass. But I love her. She's cool now. You know, she's all right. I like her. But I was raised to you know, respect your elders, and so I'm so good everywhere else and every other place. And I'm super, super kind to all my friends' parents and stuff. And she's like, man, I hear everyone says you're so kind, you're so nice. How come when you come into the house, you're such an asshole? And I'm like, you gave birth to me, so a little bit of you is in me. You got to ask yourself that question every once in a while, you know? I mean, it's a fact, you know. Before kind of like putting the finger on anybody else, you kind of got to reflect on yourself a little bit, you know?
So how you were raised, do you feel like the way that you're raised affects your energy?
Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? Of course. I feel like if I wasn't raised the way I was, or like if I didn't get my ass beat, I would be way more of an asshole today. Way more. If I got more, I feel like if I got beat some more, I would be a better person. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I know some people who I know were not beaten as children.
Mm-hmm. Did you get beat when you were younger?
Oh yeah, I didn't get caught as much. You met my brother.
Oh yeah.
So he, you know, got caught a lot more. So he got a lot more attention. But I mean, we got our fair share. Yeah, all of us did.
I got caught too much. I got caught way too much, and I was like, damn, I cannot catch a fucking break. This is some bullshit. But they're like, not like I'm gonna stop this shit though, you know.
There you go.
Oh shit! Speaking of which, it's still charging down there. If you want to grab it.
There you go. Reach over, Kristen. You're right there.
That little vape
Watch
pen.
the headphones though.
Oh yeah. I forgot about it. I was charging it and I was like, these guys might want to smoke some tobacco vape.
So it's always some fun vaping.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
I was gonna ask you earlier. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to, I guess, whatever you're trying to manifest, right? Mm-hmm. And I know we threw in there somewhere that people have bigger purposes, or, you know, there's a bigger purpose for me in life and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, you got to think that some people are just destined for mediocreness too, right? If we're saying, or everybody can reach the same potential.
No, see, I had this conversation yesterday. My friend Clarence said everyone has $1 million in their head. The only thing stopping them is you need to let it heat up for a little. Oh shit, that shit works. The only thing stopping them is like their depression, anxieties, things that are blocking them from getting to that $1 million idea that's locked in there. And I was like, nah, bro, I don't think anybody has $1 million. I don't think everybody does. I think everyone may have the potential to it, but there's some people that just that's not their shtick. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say that it's mine. I don't know if I got $1 million. I can't even say that I do because I'm fucking basic as shit. You know what I mean? There's nothing like extraordinary about me, but I feel like the people that do have that in them, it's kind of like they know, you know?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or am I just pulling this out of my ass?
No, I feel what you're saying. I think I don't like equating it to money because then people get confused and monetary success means happiness and fulfillment and all that, and it doesn't. I used to read this philosopher, and I can't remember his name now, in college, but he had a book called The Perennial Existence, and he talked about a lot of Eastern medicine, a lot of Eastern like ways of thinking. Mm-hmm. And I've always thought that if we go back into Eastern history, we can unlock that. You know, we were talking about that 10%. People only use 10% of their brain. I think we're capable of a lot more, and it's not magic or anything. It's just harnessing that energy. That's all that it is. Mm-hmm. And I think this guy, his name was Alfred something. He quit. I think he was trying to be a physicist and stuff like that. He would read it on its own, but he stopped being a scientist. He went and started his own shoemaking business. Lived in a little shack, read philosophy, and he was happy. He said he felt fulfilled at that moment, like self-fulfilled, where you kind of reach your highest form and stuff like that. That's what he felt like. He knew he was happy forever.
See, that I feel like rather than striving for the bank, strive for happiness.
Yeah,
there's a big difference to that. A lot of people, they're not fucking happy millionaires, man. They're not happy billionaires. You know, as a matter of fact, I guarantee once you get to all those zeros, that's just extra stress on your back. Mm-hmm. You know, not that I would know, but I could only imagine. You know what I mean?
I need to try to find it somewhere, but if you take a philosophy class, they talk about it all the time, that they've done studies on people, and money does equal happiness up to a certain point, I think it's up to like $120,000.
Oh, I saw the same thing. Yeah.
After that, you're going from there to like almost $1 million, and it doesn't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, once you pass that $1 million threshold towards the end of it, you are just stressed all the time because you're doing so much stuff. You can't spend the money in time, or you're just losing money, just hemorrhaging it away. So now you're just worried more about something else. You know what I mean? Rather, like you said, be happy. I think that's the main thing. Like if you haven't pulled yourself mentally out of a kind of dark place at any point, you kind of don't understand that struggle. But
what makes you happy, Chris?
So money, right?
Money makes you happy.
I mean, no, it really.
So
money. That is such a crazy thing because we have. I'm gonna heavy quote this: influencers.
Mm-hmm.
Influencers.
Mm-hmm.
that's a job now.
That is a job
Is it?
now.
It's a title. You can put that shit on your resume.
I think that we live in a world where you can.
Get the fuck out of here.
Where you're like, I don't like to talk about money as if it measures happiness, but I think that we live in a world where it does. Look at Kylie Jenner.
Oh well, yeah.
Look at
1000%.
Who else?
Dude, look at Kay Tucci. Oh my God. So it's this big booty, big breast chick. And she's always like, if you want to be like me, like throwing money on her in like a Ferrari, go to boomdaddies.com and bet all these bets and just throwing money everywhere. And I was like, she seems pretty happy.
So, and that's a thing, right? That's a type of energy.
Yeah.
That's a type of energy. And people see that. And I think a lot of young people see that because young people are just like this all day long.
Oh,
the world is at your fingertips, for better, for worse. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, that is what happiness looks like. That is what success looks like. That's everything that could go right in your life looks like.
Yep. I don't know about here. This is the girl I was talking about. I feel like what society is doing, society itself, like we're literally being programmed. You know what I mean?
It's brainwashing.
I mean, it goes to that, yeah, because
we're being programmed, and it starts with our phones. The phone is the first chip to our brains. Because think about it, this phone. This is our brain. It has all of our data, all of our pictures, everything we need on there. And then after this, I feel like this motherfucker's gonna go right here. You know what I mean?
It turns into your mental health. It turns into my confidence is based off of how many followers I have. My self-gratification is based on the amount of likes I get.
Not you personally?
no, she's
That is
okay,
like, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, okay, got
Yeah, so I think that's...
I was about to say, you seem way more above
Oh,
that.
no. I believe I am.
Yeah.
I believe I am. Because something about social media...
I was going to add you, but I was scared. I was like, we should probably get to know each other first before I click the follow button, right? This is going to be weird.
It helped her ego, though. So
Oh, yeah, true that.
You see what I mean, though? It's like, wow, I don't even know this guy. Yeah. There's not even any mutual followers.
Yeah, you know,
that feels good.
Well, Jorge is our mutual follower, but I told him, and I was like, hey, bro, let me get your first and last names, so I can, introduce you guys properly. But that was like a side note. I was like, also, let me get that shit so I can fucking research the shit out of this girl I have no idea about. I want to know how she looks like and shit. Because it matters.
Yeah, I think social media can be such a good tool, but it's such a big poison.
Oh, yeah.
Something that I like to showcase. I take physique photos. A lot of it is on my Snapchat.
Love them.
But physique
Lucky
photos
husband.
for the gym, and I like to just kind of say, this is what I'm doing today, and just kind of showing that consistency, that this shit doesn't just make itself.
Yeah.
This is an everyday thing. This is a lifestyle. This is built into a routine to kind of be like, I'm struggling just as much as the next person. We all have our problems, but I'm making the conscious effort to build on it, to knock myself down, to tear myself down, to literally build upon that every single day. And you'd be surprised at how many people are like, wow, that's so inspiring. I've been really down. Like people I don't even really talk to very much anymore that are just like, I'm really going through a bad breakup. And I've kind of decided to stop feeling sorry for myself because I've just seen you do your thing for the last month. I've seen you do your thing for the last year.
And as much as that shit feels good, I don't know how you feel about it, but it always makes me feel weird. Like I don't know if you remember when I did Sober October. I did Sober October, and a lot of people were hitting me up for that shit. And they're like, yo, this thing is great. I love it. I love what you're doing. And I'm just like, how do I respond to that? Like, cool, appreciate it. It's so weird being able to affect another person. not even speaking to them, you know?
It's the best feeling. And that's exactly what I've been wanting to do with my journey, because I know that when I was in the darkest place of my life, I wish I had kind of had something. And I think to some degree I did. My fitness coach now is someone who I've been idolizing for 3 years. Yeah, I actually decided to hire her as my coach.
Shout her out.
Yeah, so her name's Tiffany Wynn out of Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Instagram handle Tiffany. Lift Like Tiff.
Ooh, that's dope.
Yes.
I like that shit.
So she is actually sponsored and a sponsored athlete by One Up Nutrition. And I said to myself a year ago,
by One Up Nutrition?
I am.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
Yes.
Oh shit.
I said a year ago to my husband, I am going to start lifting and I'm going to be just like Tiff and I'm going to get sponsored by One Up. And I said to myself, I really want to help people the way that she helped me unknowingly, how she unknowingly helped me just by living her life.
Oh, wow.
By her being consistent, by her being healthy, by her constantly working on herself. She helped me work on me.
Congratulations to you
Thank
getting
you.
getting sponsored by them and all that. And, you know, definitely shout out to Tiffany Wynn. We're looking up her thing right now. Shout out to Tiffany. That's not her, is it?
No. I think if you Google Lift Like Tiff.
Lift Like Tiff?
Yeah. She's a power lifter.
Right. Let's see if this will work.
There she is.
Definitely shout out to them. You know, that what that did was they were like the beginning of the branch, and then, you know, you kind of sprouted off of that, and I guarantee you got people off of your branch now, you know, that are kind of doing the same thing.
Yes, and it's crazy, and that's something that I've told her from the get-go when she started coaching me. I was like, you know, I've followed you for years.
She's gorgeous.
And I never look at her quads.
Dude, look at her fucking quads. I like, what the fuck? Oh, what are those? Those are one of those wagon wheels. Dude, she does not fuck around. She lifts wagon wheels in this bitch. Get out of here, Tiffany. Oh, yes. That's a really high deadlift. It's kind of like a rack pull almost, how high it is, right? Sorry, that shit's super loud. Was I yelling? It sounded like I was yelling.
I can hear the clinking all the way over
here. Yeah. Dude, look at this shit.
Yeah.
You know, definitely shout out to her. And you said you're sponsored with One Up?
Yes. So I got sponsorship in May, so 5 months. And I was dumbfounded. I had literally told my husband when I got the email that they were interested in sponsoring me, that I was like, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was just time catching up to everything that I had been manifesting.
Wow.
But I didn't expect it to happen this fast.
So how did you go about this? Like, what was the first step?
I was like, is this really happening? I was like, can you just read this email real quick? And I was like, is this spam? Am I being tricked here? But no. I mean, am I being punked?
Oh, Ashton.
we quote that movie way too much.
Yeah, have you seen that movie? Just Friends?
Oh, I thought you said Ashton.
We did.
Oh, you did? No. Just Friends. Yeah. Isn't that with Ashton Kutcher and that other girl from 70s movie?
Yeah.
70s show?
That was No Strings Attached.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just Friends is Ryan Reynolds when he used to be fat in high school.
Oh,
and Anna
yes.
Faris.
I just watched that movie not too long ago.
That is a good example of what we're talking about today. I don't know why we didn't bring that in, but...
Oh.
Anyway.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah. No, but like, how did you initially get the jump on One Up? Like, did you just send them an email, say, "Hey, look at my pictures, I can be a really good asset"?
I had sent an email to them, which I'm pretty sure they didn't see. I'm so sure, and I even dropped Tiff's name. I was like, you know, this is my idol. This is someone who's inspired me, who in turn is making me want to inspire others, and I feel like I fit perfectly into your brand. I actually joined their transformation challenge, which is something they've been doing every 3 months. It's a 12-week challenge. And these are their founders and CEOs who are holding video conferences to answer any live questions.
No shit.
And they're right there with you, and their whole thing is to become better.
Oh, One Up?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could definitely see how that's their slogan, to become better. Do you have your pictures of your transformation over here? Whoa, that's fucking huge.
You know, I feel like it's definitely are we Facebook friends? Because we should be.
Hold on. That's so crazy how it makes it dark in here. Like, whenever that screen goes white, this thing is mad dark. So I'm going to do it here, then I'm going to put it up. No, we're not Facebook friends, but I creeped on your shit earlier, so I'm pretty sure it'll be easy to find you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Creep.
Super duper. See, it gets hot in here. Are you guys hot?
No.
I'm wearing a sweater, so that's probably why.
That's because, like, there's no air going on. We don't got the AC on. We got all these lights and everything. I start sweating. And they're like, Roman, stop being so nervous around your guests. And I'm like, it's not. My balls are just sweaty, bro. Leave me alone.
Sticking to the chair.
Sticking to the chair. Hold on. I'm trying to find. Oh, while it loads. Go ahead and tell me, how's it been? You said you've been there for 5 months now, or it took 5 months to get to that?
It took 5 months, and for me, it was I don't know how far you went down on my Instagram page, but I was posting from December, and even on my Snapchat, I was saying, you know, this is my stack that I'm currently using. This is a green supplement for fiber. This is my whey protein. I love it. I was living as if I was already sponsored. Mm-hmm. Because that was the life that I wanted. That was the difference I wanted to make. And that's something I was hoping that they would see. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, oh, she's already got it. She just needs that little.
A friend of mine's doing the same thing. You ever heard of that brand Pump Chasers?
No.
Oh, he pretty much like acts as if he's not acts, but like he puts them on so fucking hard, you know, hoping the fact that one of these days he will get sponsored by them, because he's a pretty swole dude. You know, he's strong as shit. Gerald D. Fuck, dude, he never told me his last name, but he's always rocking that shit. And I've been whenever we did his podcast, he was episode number 6, I believe, on the podcast. And I was like, I was tagging Pump Chase. I was like, yo, put my man on. This guy's fucking putting you on everything. And till this day, every single day, he's always wearing a Pump Chaser shirt. And you know, one of these days, you know, he'll get to it. I believe in him.
It's coming.
Here's your 1 year right here.
Yeah, see, so I had just posted pictures. Yeah, my little bicep.
Nice, dude. You are swole as shit. You probably got bigger biceps than I do.
The quads is what gets me.
You're fucking
popping out.
Jesus Christ. All right, guys, this is on her Facebook. Go check her out, Krys Perez. But her name Krys is not spelled like a regular Chris. I had text Jorge. I was like, "Yo, it's pronounced Chris, right?"
People think it's Krys.
Yeah, I was like, "No, I'm not gonna call her Krys."
I'm like, who would do that?
I kind of had to like use my big boy brain. I was like, the K is pronounced K, and the Y can be yeah or I. Maybe it's Chris.
Diving deep into that preschool, kindergarten mindset.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, Mr. Jorge, you said going into the future, you're actually going to be doing some IT work coming up. So.
Yeah. I'm working. Technically, I'm an employee for my friend Logan right now. Okay. Shout out to LNG. That's his little company. So he started a company.
LNG, nice.
It's a nice networking company. Like I was telling you, just connecting different networks so people can get this information, not that information, yada, yada.
Right.
Basically, it's the same type of thing that I was talking to her about. I think a few months ago, probably like 6 months ago, I did a lot of thinking with stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've given up the life that I want for certain things that aren't going to really yield too much. And so I kind of just refocused and said, this is the life that I want, right? Mm-hmm. My fiance is a teacher, so I really want to be off all the time so that when she's off, we can hang out, do crazy stuff, travel.
Are you telling me we're not going to tour the world on a fucking rap tour anymore?
I want to be able to have time to do that. That's what okay. I'm telling you.
Okay.
And, right? So that's the most valuable thing to me is time, right? So you can spend it with people you love so that you can work on things, on getting better, stuff like that, right? You make time for what you want to do. And I hadn't been doing that for the past couple of years. And so I just had to repurpose, refocus. And I've always been interested in stuff like this. Mm-hmm. My friend Logan kind of put me on and he described it to me. And like I was telling you, it's a lifestyle where I can work from home. I can work from my computer.
For sure.
So now that yields time to get back into soccer, to get back into writing music, to be off when she's off, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Dude, you definitely have a gift with the pen, bro. When you first sent me, back in 2017, you sent me that demo that you had. And, like, every fucking punchline, I was like, dude, I don't even want to rap no more.
That's the 5 song, right?
Yeah.
That's the, yeah.
I was like, this guy is so much better than me that I don't even want to fucking do this shit.
Thank you, Roman. He's just boosting me up. I'm not.
No,
I'm
dude,
alright.
shit's fire. Anybody who wants his demo, hit me up, and I will gladly send it to you. Shit's fire. I was actually at the beginning of this podcast. You heard that was I Feel It, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the songs that I really like, and also Midnight Story.
Yeah, that's a good
Midnight
one,
Stories. I just like that. See, to me, simplicity is key, and your beats are so simple. That's why I like Russ so much. It's so fucking simple, you know. And I'm like, if you can make simple sound like Grammy worthy, dude, you're doing something right. You know what I mean? But yeah, speaking about time, what's it called? The IT world. You got all the fucking time in the world,
mm-hmm. And it's not going away. Like,
yeah,
it's just gonna keep growing.
It's gonna grow. That's
It'd be good.
Buddy of mine, like I told you, he's like, he told me, I don't know, I never really looked into it, but he said he got his associates over at TCC, got the IT job through networking at TCC, and he's banking in $90 an hour now, going all over the world.
Yeah,
bro.
that's good stuff.
All over the world. And I was like, I think this guy's like 2 years older than me. He's 28 now. I was like, damn, bro, that's fucking crazy. That's insane. So I was like, that must be nice. You know, that must be nice. Good to know. I'll live your life through your Instagram. You know, but whenever I see those pictures, I'm like, man, one day.
You just got to put it in, like, how big do you want that, I guess, you know, for, like, Krys is telling you, she's telling you she worked on this. She's not telling you she worked on this while I did this and tried to do this and that.
Just focus.
A lot of people put their time into a lot of stuff, but you can't zone in on anything
that tunnel
like that.
vision. You need that tunnel vision. That's what, you know, unfortunately for my rap career, that's kind of what happened with this. Ask this guy. I was dropping songs every fucking week. I was just like, when I was focused on that, that's all I did. And then I started podcasting, and then what I tell myself is, I gotta take this shit apart, set it up for, like, you know, the studio setup to like with that on there. And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna fucking stick with this podcast shit. And I'll work on some songs if, like, people want to come over specifically to work on the song, you know. But if I'm trying to come in the studio right here into the fucking dojo and try to like get myself psyched up for it, when I step in here, I think about podcasts. I think about who's gonna be the next person. Come on, what's gonna be the next thing we're gonna talk about? Let me look up something that's interesting that people might want to hear about. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I don't give a fuck what people want to hear about. I give a fuck what my guest is talking about. You know what I mean? But yeah. So fuck. How the fuck did we get there?
Talking about life. What kind of life do you want? I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what this is for me. This is like this is my baby. This podcast. I want it to eventually grow. You know, to where this is pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, one day maybe that'll be cool to work at a radio station. You know, that would be dope. This is kind of like my entry level for that. So if I work at a radio station, would you guys be down to come on too and check it out?
And by that time, I can actually talk about what I'm doing and other stuff.
Yeah. Well, how did you first initially hear about this whole IT stuff? Anyways, I know you said you're working with Logan LNG.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like your plug to kind of get you into it and everything.
Yeah, he's been into this kind of stuff since he was a kid, and just kind of grew up on it. Went to college with him.
Oh, he's
played
like
semi-pro soccer with him.
He's one of those.
Yeah, he could be probably. He's really smart. Like, it's great.
Is he working with you guys over at Pluckers too?
No, I met him in college, and then he met Danica through Pluckers.
Oh, okay.
You remember Danica? I
Love
think.
Danica. I've been trying to get her on here forever.
Yeah.
She's always traveling too. Dude, she has the coolest fucking job.
Yeah, it's
She
great.
goes around, takes pictures of naked people all the time. Are you kidding me?
She actually did our engagement photos.
Yeah, I saw that. Those were nice. Well, I didn't see the actual photos. It was just like...
She posted a couple, like
Yeah.
a preview or two, but we're about to send out wedding invitations and all that, so that'd be cool.
So am I going to get the invite?
Yeah.
Or is this going to be awkward as fuck?
You're going to get one of the side ones for the party. Only family's going to the actual ceremony, but after that, everybody can show up.
Dude, you know what's fucking weird? So I got invited to a wedding last year, right? No, this year. I think it was this year. Anyways, we get there and we're an hour late, so we missed the whole ceremony. and at that point it was just the family members taking pictures at the altar, right? And me and my wife are sitting at the last pew with our fucking gift right here. And we're just like, we don't know what to do. They just told us to come here. And so my friend's wife walks up and says, "Oh, these are the late people. It's okay, baby. Come over here. You want to go over there?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck!" In front of everyone, for real. This is some cold ass shit. And like, it was my friend Ty is this cool ass dude from work. He's like, don't worry, guys. Those people are running on Asian time. They're always backwards. I was like, fuck you, Ty. Fucking didn't know we were going to be way out here in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know where it was. But, so self-growth and energy. Miss Krys, back to you. What did it take for you to finally, I mean, besides the fact that you were, you know, following lift like Tiff, what did it take for you to finally like jump on that bandwagon and start lifting that first weight?
I had to hit my ultimate low in life.
Which is? Like what happened? Tell me about it.
I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, which was something I kind of felt like I had when I was a teenager, but I feel like at that age it's kind of normal.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when you got diagnosed?
Let's see. 20. I was technically 26. It was a couple years back.
Okay.
And it was something that came in waves. But last year it was my ultimate just low point when I had lost 10 pounds. I was working 2 jobs just because I couldn't sleep. And the times that I would fall asleep, I had been so disappointed that I woke up.
Really?
And I was just like, it's so much easier to just stay asleep, to feel like you have that permanent escape from everything, than to be living in it and to be in customer service, to be in the service industry and put on this performance for other people.
Fake it till you make it.
Who might need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it took me some time, and this is something my mom always told me. You're allowed to sit in your shit. You can sit in your shit.
And we all do.
As long as you don't stay there. At some point, you need to get up.
Right.
And that's kind of when I was like, I had to make the conscious choice to get better, to make the necessary changes, to find out what works and what doesn't. And that's what I kind of decided to do. I was like, I'm really tired of people saying that I'm so skinny, that I look so frail. Because at that point, my physical appearance was reflecting my mental state of mind.
Oh, wow.
That's
scary.
I was the lightest I had ever been, and people could literally see it. And for me, it was like they can see that I'm depressed. They can see that I'm anxious. They can see that something is going on in my mind and that I am not as happy as I make it out to be. And so then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start lifting. I want to look healthy because I want to be healthy. And that's kind of something that's kept me going. Don't get me wrong. I still have those moments where that's something I've talked to you about. Just like I'm feeling kind of low today. I'm kind of feeling sensitive today, or like, you know, it kind of goes without saying with him because he kind of always knows.
Right.
But
that sensei power.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, bro.
It is.
I can't turn it off and turn it on. It just that's the worst part is it just happens. And so like we were training one day and she came in and she was kind of sick, but I could also tell something was off, and she was just like, yeah, I'm just not myself. And like right there I knew like something was completely different. This is a girl that'll come and like punch you and start laughing like a little kid. You know what I mean? And so it was just off. But I have a question about that too. I guess a lot of people I think that this big like transformation happens all of a sudden. And I think that's the hardest part because, I mean, I've been there with you through depression and stuff. Never got diagnosed, but like going through it and then after I was like, oh, Lord. Like I was trying to sleep all the time for the same reason. The longer you sleep, the quicker the day goes, the less you have to do, you know?
Right.
But at what point, I guess for the people out there dealing with stuff like that, was it a big, like huge change all of a sudden? Or was it just that one starting the journey by taking the first step kind of situation?
It's every day you're taking that first step. And that is the hardest amount of work I think I have ever put into anything. And it was myself. And then and then it becomes a routine, right? And then you kind of learn, this is actually normal. This is how it should be. Maybe not to that extent, but to constantly be like, all right, well, that was yesterday, so how are we going to be better today?
Right.
And I think that the great thing about strength conditioning, lifting, powerlifting, is that you are seeing the physical weight that you are pulling up.
Exactly.
For me, in one of those pictures, I had 65 pounds on that barbell that I was squatting. Now that's a warm-up.
Yeah. Dude,
I mean,
we got to work out one day.
Yeah.
We definitely do.
My personal record right now is 135.
Nice. You got plates on that bitch.
And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, you got
know what I
big
mean?
boy
And it's something that I'm still very hard on myself for. like when I'm benching. Benching is actually my favorite thing, but I can only do it when my husband's there for safety reasons. And I see how much he can lift, and then I'm like at 60 pounds.
Is he deep into it too? Deep into the gym world?
He is deep into it for my sake.
Okay.
He
That's
likes
really good
what that
support
brings.
him.
Yeah, what that brings to the table for me. And for him this year, it's been trail running. He's like, I think I'm going to take up trail running. So I'm like, you know what? I'm right there with you.
Dude, I want to hang out with him.
We've done a
wanna fucking go trail
10K.
running.
We've done a 15K, and both of us have he's placed top in our age bracket every single
Wow.
race. And for me, I've been 5th.
Wow.
So top 5. And that's
amazing.
that's the type of energy that you want to carry through life too. And that's something that a lot of my followers on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook have seen too. They're like, wow, you guys really do this together. And I'm like, we're a team.
That's where it really helps, man. Like I've been trying to get my wife in the whole like fitness health shtick, but that's just not her thing. Her thing is like, you know, it's like cooking and hosting and, you know, taking care of other people and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm the complete opposite. I'm trying to take care of myself. You know, I'm trying to grow from within, because I feel like if you can't fix yourself, you can't fix no one else, you know?
And it's crazy because I think in some cultures, my mom specifically, Asian, Japanese, Filipino, Spanish culture, it's very much what feeds her soul, what makes her feel better about herself is taking care of others.
Yeah, it's making other people
It's
happy.
that type of selfless, very unconditional love. Let me take care of you. Let me make these memories for you. Like, that's something that fulfills her.
It's definitely a gift. It's definitely a gift that she has that I'm happy that I don't. You know, I'm not trying to be that guy to make everybody happy all the time at the party. It just happens to be that motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? But what was I gonna fucking say? Damn it. Oh yeah, I wanted to go back to the whole sleep thing, because I could definitely relate to that. Lately, so I'm like I said, those waves that I'm in, I'm currently in the down wave right now. Like, I don't know what it is. Back in October when I was doing the whole fitness thing, dude, I got up to a max on my squat. I maxed out on, I hit a new PR on everything, squat, deadlift, and bench. And it felt fucking amazing. I felt like the Hulk. And I was like, all I need is 2 hours of sleep, because I need as much of my day to be as progressive progressive? Is that the word? I don't know, to kind of move forward. Yeah, productive as possible, to be as productive as possible. And nowadays, I'm like, I'm tired at 9 o'clock. I'm like this fucking old man now, you know? Like, I'm tired at 9. I don't want to wake up until like 11 or some shit. And I'm just like, fuck this. And when I get off of work, back in the day, I used to get off of work and get straight to the studio and start writing, because I would have already worked on something at work, starting writing something there, kind of start that whole that snowball. And then now when I get off work, I just want to vegetate, you know? So right now I'm currently in the process of kind of like going back to that top wave, because I'm sure the reason why I don't want to go to a doctor is I don't want a doctor to tell me something I already know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure I got some anxiety in me, some depression in me. I feel like everybody has a taste of that, and I feel like some people just got more of it than others. I just choose to be like, nah, fuck that. I got me. I'm gonna take care of myself. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to pay this fucking MD guy. Here's $1,000 to fucking talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Just $1,000 for a fucking Tylenol. But that's just me. That's just me personally. That's me personally, and I don't want to be that dude that's like fucking all down and negative all the time. But sometimes you really don't have that choice. You know what I mean? But then whenever you realize, and I realize myself that I'm down and outright like that, I gotta think, all right, what makes me happy? The gym, fucking donuts, and my wife. So I can definitely get some donuts right now. But then that'll like get me down. You know what I mean? I'll have this like thing, this combative with myself. I'm like, all right, no, I'm gonna take the wife out. We're gonna go watch a movie, but I'm definitely gonna go to the gym tomorrow. It's like constantly, like you said, setting goals for yourself day in and day out. So I'm kind of like on my way up. So you guys need to help me get back up there, get back up that wave. We need to fucking work out one day, and I want to go to trail run with you and your husband one of these days. Would that be dope?
Yes.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Well, guys, it has been a fucking hour. We've been in this bitch for an hour, and my back is so wet right now. Fucking sweating on this goddamn chair.
Sticking to the chair.
Oh, God. Did I talk too much? I feel like I talked way too much during that thing.
I feel like we all do that.
like
We all feel that because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like we record a song and I'm like, did I rap too much? Because I feel like
I feel like I was on that motherfucker way too much. Did I say the same thing over and over again? Well, hey guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to stop by, to say what's up to the homie, and to, you know, come check it out. Can I see you guys come back here one more time?
Yeah.
Sometime down the line, see like how the progression has been, and, you know, what's coming up next and shit.
Yeah. I also want to bring in a couple studies, I think, on actual energy studies and kind of talk about those.
For sure.
It gives us some time to do our homework.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know. You know, I'm always open to whoever wants to come over and talk about it. But you guys, for sure, you guys are the homies. But next time, you guys got to come in with your Plucker shirts so we can all match. Is that cool?
I'm in for it.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Y'all have a good one. Until next time. Peace.
That was crazy.
Was
That
it?
was everything I really expected it to be, which is